to the channel. Today is so exciting because I have my first ever Halloween thrifting haul. We went to City Antiques in Roswell, Georgia, and oh my gosh, you guys, this place was popping with spooky, ooky, kooky antiques for real. So I'm gonna just get into everything that I got. Everything is very carefully packaged nicely by the City Antiques crew. So I gotta unbox everything. Oh, first off, I mean, to some people I feel like this video is gonna be like, oh, so you bought a bunch of junk. Yeah, I did. I bought a rusty old tin because it looked very spooky, ooky, kooky, and it's gross and rusty and nasty, and I really loved it. And I think it would look good as part of my haunted apothecary vibe. I figured I could put like the top on a little crooked and like maybe have some stuff coming out of it. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but yeah, I got a spooky tin. Next, I got a ton of old glass bottles. And I'm very excited because I tried to pick the grossest, ugliest, oldest bottles I could find because that obviously will fit the vibe the most. They can't look too perfect. So I have this little bottle, which has tons of grossness inside of it, and the top is even kind of chipped and broken right here, just a tad. So spooky bottle number 1. I have lots of these, so I won't go through like every single one because that seems a little excessive to show y'all 30 gross bottles. But I also got this little trio of them, which came in this old box that says Windsor Club, pasture, cheese, food, whatever. I don't know, but it looked old and gross, so I bought it. And it came with this jar, which is a cool little shape. It came with this one, which was very nasty, gross on the inside, which love. And then this one, which is also nasty on the inside. So a little trio of amber bottles. I also got some glass ones. Well, they're all glass, but these are like clear glass. So obviously this one I had to get because as you can see, it is very like gross and just nasty on the inside. I keep describing every bottle the same way, but that's what I was looking for. So yeah. And I got these 2 little ones, which are really cool because they look like little medicine bottles to me. And Zoe and I were talking about how maybe we can like put some, like go get some loose leaf tea and put some loose leaf tea in them to look like, you know, potion ingredients, or maybe get some like some cork stoppers and put like some water and like food coloring in them so they have like colored liquids in them. But yeah, I also loved that this one had a little bit of a label on it that had like completely come off. I thought that was really cool. And then this one obviously is just kind of a little bit more normal, but still. Small bottles. Oh look, another big old bottle. This one also is gross, but I really liked that it had measurements on it. I thought that was kind of cool. So a big amber bottle. Another amber bottle, just a different size. And then this one we liked also because it has measurements on it, and it also just has like a very unique shape. Like the top is just very cool. And again, it's gross. So I had to have it. What did you go shopping for this weekend, Holly? Crusty old bottles, as you do. Okay, I think this is another bottle. When I tell you guys I pretty much only bought bottles and books, that's pretty much all that I bought, but I hope you guys enjoy seeing it either way. Oh, psych, I got this tiny little clay pitcher. I thought this was kind of cute, I don't know, and it's got like a crack in the bottom, which you won't be able to see obviously when it's standing up, but it was so teeny and cheap. I was like, just a couple bucks, like might as well add it in there. And I just figured that would look, I don't know, I just feel like it fits the witchy antique vibe. This bottle, which is also gross, and I love that it has this very gross, like rusty lid. I thought that was cool. And then obviously it's like very gross on the inside. Ooh, it's like distorting my face. Hey. Hi. So yeah, it's like milky on the inside. Don't know what was in here. If one of these if one of these bottles gives me a disease, then I have committed to the Halloween bit. I also got a couple of these old little stands because I want to prop up a couple of the books that I bought to look like it would be open for like a witch to read her spells or something, or her potion recipes. So I tried to get like the oldest, grossest looking ones, and they really don't look bad at all, honestly, but they're like a very dark wood tone, not quite black, and they're just a little bit dusty, a little bit beat up, but nothing crazy. So yeah. Ooh, this one's really gross. Look how pretty. She's got measurements and dirt and who knows what's inside. Another one that's also just different and cool and has measurements and is gross. I know this video is very repetitive, I'm sorry. Just a couple more bottles and then we'll get into the books. Another one, just kind of generic. It's like cracked on the inside and gross, and then a smaller one as well, which there's actually a cork in this that looks like it fell through and it's very dilapidated. So just a couple more bottles. This one is probably my favorite one because it looks gross and there's definitely still some liquid in it. I think it honestly used to be like an alcohol bottle, probably like a whiskey or like a scotch or something. But the cap is also just really gross, which I loved, but I just love that there's like nasty liquid left in it. Which again, if I get a disease from one of these bottles, then oh well. All right. Oh, next we've got books, and I got quite a few books, and I was again looking for the dustiest, crustiest, oldest books in the place. And one thing about old books is that they can actually be very expensive just because they're books that are, you know, hard to find, early editions, that kind of thing. This is probably my favorite book that we found, and it is called History of the New World. And look how dilapidated this book is, you guys. Literally, it is falling apart, so I have to be very careful with it. But the front is seriously awesome. The side, the back, I mean, even look at how uneven and gross these pages are. It is seriously just awesome. Like, I just think it's so freaking cool. And LOL, I love that one of the first pages I opened, it says slaughter of the something. Oh, the second one I opened said 700 murders. So it's scary. Oh, this has the Civil War. So I think this is like a History of America book, but it's gross and ugly and I seriously love it. All right, next I got this one. I love that this one has a leather spine and that it is also old and dingy looking, and the pages are kind of gross and uneven. This is Memoir of Jenny Lind, Holland and Rockstro. The inside is very cool. And again, it just is giving very old age book, and I really, really like it. Old book number 2 for the win. This one is T.S. Eliot Collected Poems 1909 through 1962. This one is a little bit in better shape, but I did like that the edge is so like crusted and old, and it looks like it like got a lot of sun because it's like a completely different color from the rest of the book. On the inside, it still looks really good, but I love that they're poems because to me, poems look a lot more like spells. So I think this is one of the ones that I'm going to stick in one of these to like display, because then from afar, it does kind of look like you're reading spells, which I thought would be really cool.
You should annotate on it.
Annotate on it?
Kind of like how the first Half-Blood Prince is. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like write in
it's
some
very,
personal
like,
stuff.
Yeah, but it's like very like potion-y, like
yeah.
Like you cross out something and you're like actually 2 bay leaves. Kind of
like perfecting my potions.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is, some people might find this not cool, so I'm sorry for one of those people. This one actually is a religious text. It's called Leaves of Gold, but I just could not pass it up because of this sick, like, rope bound side of it. It's just so cool. It's an anthology of prayers, memorable phrases, inspirational verse, and prose. And what was really interesting and kind of sick is that we found dried roses inside of it, which is just, that's spooky ooky to me. But then also we happened to find a bookmark of the Pope. So yeah. But to be fair, like this font that's on the inside of this is so old and definitely witchy to me. I also might end up displaying this maybe with like the page that has the dried rose in it because I think that's so cool. But yeah, I just thought this one was so cool. Next we have this one, which is called A Spinner in the Sun by Myrtle Reed. I have no idea what this book is about. But I had to get it because it has a huge spider web on the front, so obviously it was very spooky. The side is very old and dingy, and I also loved that the inside could also definitely look like spells. Something about the like red ink mixed with the black in these little tables to me just looks like it definitely could be like ingredients to a potion or a spell from afar. So I had to pick this one up, and I think it's so perfect. And once I saw the spider web, I was like, oh yeah, I have to have it for sure. You think we're done? No, we've got like maybe 6 more. I hope you guys are enjoying looking at all the old crusty books I bought. This one is the 10 Great Events in History by James Johnut. And she's crusty. She's very dusty and old. There's pictures in here, and it just, again, looks very old and dusted, and I figured this would look very nicely stacked with some other books. These two are a matching set. These are both collections of Shakespeare, part 1 and also part 1. But I liked that I had 2 that were the same because I could kind of like stack them together and they look like, you know, a part 1 and a part 2, even though they're just the same book. And I like that one is like dustier and crustier than the other, so they're not like an exact match, but they're obviously a pair. So I just thought these would look so good stacked together again on my witchy bookshelves. Next up, I got this one, and again, I'm sorry if you feel weird about having religious text. It says Halloween decorations. I do believe this is some sort of text in relation to Judaism. It says Hafiz on the front, and it does look like it has some like Hebrew symbols, and I'm so sorry if I'm incorrect about that. I'm not trying to be offensive, but the one that really sold me again, obviously I believe this book is a book of prayers, and again, it looks like it has kind of that poem spell-like look to it. So again, I think I might happen to prop this one up because of how it looks. I just think that would be really, really cool.
That word means memorizer.
Memorizer?
It says.
Is it Hebrew?
It's Muslim, yeah.
Oh, it's Muslim, okay.
So depending on the context, it's a term used by Muslims for someone who has completely memorized the Quran.
Oh.
Hafiza is the female equivalent.
Interesting. Hafiza. That's a character from Throne of Glass.
Oh.
That's the healer on High's name. Okay, so this is the textbook of general therapeutics for veterinarians. The main reason I picked this up is because since this is supposed to be a haunted apothecary, I thought it would be cool to have some medical related books. And there were some others that I kind of wanted to pick up, but they were like a little bit in too good of shape to fit the idea. And even this one is like, it's a little bit in too good of shape because as you can see, this doesn't look like it's 100 years old. It looks like it's like 50 or 60 years old to me. And I want this to look very old, but I just thought this would be really cool because it's obviously like medical related, and this has like disinfectants and antiseptics and rabies and antipyristics and skin and mucus membranes. Like it just has spooky vibes. I don't know, I just thought it would be really cool. Okay, last two, I'll leave my favorite for last. Well, not my favorite, because I already showed you my favorite, but one of my favorites. All right, again, this is Veterinary Pharmacology, Materia Medica and Therapeutics, another medical book, but like veterinarian. And I loved that it was black. And again, this one does look, it's like kind of in decent shape, but like maybe 50, 60 years old, again, instead of like 100 years old. But it is very crusty on the inside. I love that I open it up and like the third like bolded word on here is secretions. Toxicology. Like I just think that fits like the apothecary vibe. It just does, okay? I don't need to explain myself anymore. Stop bullying me. Okay. Now, this is what I mean by like, some of these look 50 and 60 years old. Y'all, this looks 100 years old. This looks like someone freshly dug it out of the ground, and I love it. I also love that it's little because it gives me like, this is like a little pocket book of spells. You know what I mean? Like this is like
All
what
of those spells.
this is like what the little witch would carry around as like her to-go spells. Or maybe this is her journal where she keeps only her favorite spells, just to like have them at the ready when she needs them all the time. Anyways, and also the text on the inside, you guys, is so old. It's not even in this language. It's in like an old language. Could not tell you all what it is. It also very much might be like a religious prayer book. I really don't know. Maybe if I open up the front, like I have to be so gentle with this because literally look at the inside, you guys. Like it is absolutely decrepit and I love it. These pages are so thin and delicate. Oh, this is religious text. This is the one that's Dr. Martin Luther. Okay. Which means it's probably in, I'm trying to think. He wasn't Roman, was he? Will you look up where Martin Luther?
Yeah.
He wasn't French. Not Greek. Maybe he was Roman. That means I should be able to read at least a couple things in here. Because that would mean this was all in Latin. German, okay.
It's 1483, so...
A different version of German.
It would have been Ilsen Saxony.
So look up what...
It was the catalyst of the 16th century Protestant Reformation.
Yes. Look up Catecismus. I don't even think some of these letters we have because
It is a summary of exposition of doctrine and serves as a learning introduction to the sacraments traditionally used in, I can't even say that word, or Christian religious teachings of children and adult covenants.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really want to know how old this actually is now. Like this says 1812 down here, but I can't tell if that's a production date or if that's just something else.
I mean, if you're really interested in knowing, I'm sure we can take it back and our good old friend Sunny will tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's actually from the 1500s, obviously, but I do think it's probably like...
It just depends on how, oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, it's not that old. There's a signature in here dated 1829. And it looks like, yeah, that's 200 years.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was passed down through 3 generations of maybe a Jonathan, Joe something, because it says 1829 and then it has another signature and it says 2 and then another signature and it says 3. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, I just think this is like the coolest freaking thing, and I think it looks like a tiny little spell book that someone would take with them, and I love that it's in a different language, and I love the script of it. It's just, it's awesome. It's so freaking cool, and it's 200 years old. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this thrifting haul with me, and I hope you enjoyed looking at the old books and bottles and other small little things that I was able to pick up. And I want to say thank you so much to City Antiques in Roswell, Georgia. If you're located around Metro Atlanta, definitely check them out if you're looking for antiques, because they had an absolutely massive variety of all types of things. Sports memorabilia, war memorabilia, old tools and furniture, newer furniture. They had just had tons of stuff. So if you're into antiques or anything like that, definitely go check them out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a like, hit that red subscribe button down below, because I'm uploading Halloween content every single day until Halloween night. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.